Starting on the driver's side of this 32-foot intent, you have the compartment where your propane tanks are stored. They are removable 20-pound tanks, so you can get them exchanged at any gas station anywhere that they would exchange them. This is just a storage compartment. Above this storage compartment, you have your freshwater inlet for your city water, and we'll explain how to fill your freshwater tank through this. This is your hot water heater. Storage compartment. This is where your 30 amp power cord is stored. It's about 20 feet long. One thing to keep in mind, when you're running your generator, you need to plug this in to an outlet located in this compartment. So you just simply plug it in to gain power from the generator. The generator will still run, you're just not going to get power from it unless you plug that in. You also have your gray and black water drain. Just remove the cover on the bottom. Feed your sewer hose through the bottom up through the valve. Then you take the cap off, put your sewer hose on. That pushes down. Then you want to drain your black water first. That's your toilet. Once that stops flowing out, close that. Open your gray. That'll help rinse the hose. Make sure both valves are closed. Remove your sewer hose, and you are done. So if your campground has a cable TV access, you do have to provide your own coax. There's a location for that. And if you would have a portable satellite dish, like a tailgater type system, that's where that would plug into. On the back, on the driver's side, you have your generator compartment. Just one thing to point out, if your generator is running, but it's not putting out any power, I'm going to take this cover off. And there's a breaker located right here. So when it's facing us, it's on. When it's tripped, it'd be facing away, so just make sure it's reset. And then before you reset it, make sure that there aren't any electronics operate or in the on position on the inside. Always put that green cover back on too. This is your fuel refill, just right here unleaded. Passenger side rear is your outside kitchen, electric only refrigerator, TV, and your sink. Light switch. The switch right here, when your sink is full, turn that on and that'll drain your sink into the gray water tank. This is where you actually fill your freshwater tank from on the driver's side where the city water inlet is. The valve for it is in the back, and it is right here. So to fill it, make sure your water's on and turn it so it's facing that direction. And when it's full, it will overflow underneath, and just turn it in the other position to use. These are 110 outlets. Storage compartment. Your furnace exhaust, when that's on, that can get hot, so be careful. You have your storage compartment here, and this is also where the battery disconnect switch is located to turn on your 12-volt batteries for the coach. And these are your 12-volt coach batteries. On this particular model, a couple of switches to identify by the entry door. You have your main slide out switch. With this unit, make sure the engine is running and the parking brake is set. And then you hold out so the slide goes out. Once it stops going out, let go of the switch. Same thing when you bring it in. Make sure the engine's running, parking brake set. Push that until it stops coming in. Before you put it out or in, check for any obstacles outside or on the floor so that the floor doesn't get damaged. This is for the front bed that comes down over the captain's chairs. Make sure the engine is running as well for this. Parking brake on. Turn the switch in the on position, and then bed down, brings the bed down over the seats in front, and then up again, brings it back to the ceiling. This is your control panel. It shows the level of your battery, fresh water, black water, which is your toilet only, and gray water, which is your tank for your sinks and shower. Just push each button to see whatever level they're at, from empty to full. You have a gas water heater only on this particular unit, so turn it on, it's self-igniting. Takes about 10 to 15 minutes for it to initially heat up. When you're not using hot water, make sure you just shut it off. And here's your water pump switch, which draws fresh water out of the freshwater tank when you're not hooked up to city water. And this is where you start and stop your generator. If it hasn't been running for a few hours, or if it's cooler out, make sure you prime it for a few seconds. You prime it by holding stop, and then when you're done priming it, push start to start it. Let it run for a few minutes before you turn the air conditioner on, and then make sure you do not start it or shut it off with any heavy load on it like the air conditioner or microwave. This is your electric only freezer and refrigerator. When you're not plugged into shore power, please make sure the inverter is on to cool the unit. Again, it's electric only, so that's what that's for. Okay, in the bathroom, your light switch is located right to the right of the door when you come in. And then on your toilet, it's a hand flush toilet. If you pull the lever towards you halfway, it fills the bowl with water, and then all the way towards you will dump it into the tank. This is your shower here. Watch for the step going in the bedroom. Light switch again. And then you have a 110 outlet, your sink, cabinet below it. In the bedroom it's in the rear of this unit, you have your TV for the bedroom. On the side here you have an HDMI input, so you can bring along a Blu-ray player, DVD player, gaming device, and there's also 110 outlets here. Storage on the bottom, you have your linen closet in here as well. Light switch for the bedroom. There's also lights below the bedroom cabinets above the bed. And you have a pocket door for privacy. Just make sure that it's latched in that position when you drive so it's not banging around. In the bunk area of this model, the top bunk, there's a latch on the wall. Just pull it away from the wall and it makes the top bed. You can have it up if you want more seating on the bottom. There's also a grab handle to get out of bed easier. It's got a 110 and a 12 volt power supply in each bunk, and light switches are located on the front of the bunk. There's also storage below the bottom bunk as well. Kitchen, here's your microwave, 3-burner cooktop with an oven. To light the cooktop, turn whatever burner on you want to use, and then clockwise turn the spark until they light. Just make sure you shut them off when you're done using them. And then the oven lights, take a lighter, the pilot lights towards the back of the oven, turn the pilot on, turn your lighter on, wait about 3 seconds, let go of your lighter, the pilot should be lit, and then turn it to whatever temperature you want it on, and then shut it off when you're done using it. And you have storage below the sink, above the sink. There's also an HDMI and a coax cable and a 110 outlet if you want to add a Blu-ray player or a DVD player for the front TV, which is located above the kitchen table. So you have a dinette table that converts into a bed. Super easy. You want to release the leg, and then it pulls away from the wall. And when you move the cushions, it rests between the benches here, and then you put the cushions over the tabletop to make the bed, and then reverse it to bring it back up. This is your radio located on the dash. It's also the radio for the coach. Here's your menu. It's all touchscreen. You can interact with your radio. You can connect it via Bluetooth to different devices. Setting changes your different acoustics as well. Below that is your climate control for the cab only. You have heat, and your air conditioner that's just for the cab portion is separate from the coach climate control. Your stabilizer jacks, leveling jacks are located below the climate control. To activate that, turn the vehicle on, make sure your parking brake is set. Then you can turn the system on, and it'll only function when you're on a completely level surface. It's just meant for stabilizing. It will lift it up a little bit, the vehicle, but it won't lift it off the ground. Once you have parking brake on, engine on, and the panel on, you hit auto level, and it will automatically level it to the best of its abilities. Once it is level, it'll say jacks down, unit level. When you're ready to bring the jacks up, do the same thing, engine on, parking brake set, turn the system on, and then hit retract, and it'll bring all the jacks up as one. And then just make sure you visually identify that they are up when you go outside. There'll be a chime that comes on as well when the jacks are in the down position, reminding you that they are in the down position. To the left of the driver's seat, you have your mirror function to control the mirrors. You also have the heated mirror switch, and this is your front auxiliary switch. On the dash, you have your night shade and sunshade. When you want the shade to come down to cover the windshield for privacy, make sure the ignition's off and the shade will come all the way down. When the ignition is on, it'll only act as a sunshade, so it'll come about a quarter way down. These are your headlights. This is your dash display for illumination on the dash. If your engine battery would, if you leave, like say the headlights on and it kills the engine battery, you can jump start the engine battery off the coach batteries by simply holding this and starting the key normally. Below you have your parking brake. Remember to have your parking brake set for either the slide out operation and or the jacks that we showed you previously. So it's set right now. To release it, just pull up on the brake lever here, and then you have your brake and your gas right next to those. On the column is your tilt. You have cruise on the steering wheel. On turns it on, off turns it off. Set will set your speed you want to be at. Resume will increase the speed. Coast will decrease the speed once it's set. It starts like a normal vehicle. Overdrive is for freeway or road use. 4 is for elevation, like in mountains. 2 is a very extreme, where you'd use it in extreme elevations. You can also leave it in overdrive and hit the towing button to get more torque out of it. You have your fuel gauge. It's your oil pressure, your RPMs. You have your outside temperature and amount of miles on the vehicle. You can also cycle on the right side of the ignition, different functions on the dash. And going back to the dash, you have your speedometer. This is your transmission temperature, which should be in the middle as normal once it's warmed up, and this is your engine temperature. So for privacy, there's a couple different shades you're going to use. This is a snap-on portion that covers just the front corner window. These are located in the linen closet in the bedroom. There's one for the driver's side, one for the passenger side. Snap those in first, and then you have your other shade here, and then you have the front windshield night shade that we showed you in a previous clip. This switch controls what your dash radio, what power supply it's coming from. If it says ENG, it's coming from your engine, so the radio will shut off every time you turn off the ignition and remove the key. If you leave it on house, as long as the house batteries are on, it'll stay on at all times. Going towards the captain's chairs up front, this lever will control the seat back position. Make sure it's in the forward position when you bring the slide in, or the slide room in or out, so it doesn't damage the seat. And then below that lever will make the seat swivel for the front, and this will control the front to back operation as well. And then the passenger seat is identical to that.